Where is Sangita Myska? So if you haven't heard of this story, which I'm sure most of you have, so you'll know, Sangita Myska is a journalist who had her own LBC show, but she's been missing. Now, the last time we saw her was when she dared to criticise Israel and asked a completely fair question about why it was okay for Israel to attack an Iranian consulates. That question was put to Israeli government spokesperson Avi Hyman on the 14th of April. Here's the clip.
What the Iranians, of course, have said is that this is a retaliatory strike after Israel struck its consulate in Syria. Now, we all know that the way diplomacy works is consulates and embassies are considered sovereign territory of the government that is concerned. What Israel did by taking that action against Iran was escalate what is already an incredibly fragile situation.
Sangita, that's an outrageous framing of the reality.
It's not an outrageous framing. I've just been speaking to somebody who is a diplomat to Iran from the UK government. That's not an outrageous framing of it. What Israel did was strike what is considered in diplomatic circles the sovereign territory of Iran, whether we like it or not. No. And there was undoubtedly going to be a blowback. So did Israel game out what was going to happen next?
Firstly, I'm not going to speak directly to that strike. What I can say definitively, and this is why it's outrageous, I can say definitively is that wasn't an embassy, it wasn't a consulate, it wasn't any type of diplomatic mission.
It's been widely reported as that.
Now, she hasn't been seen since, which sparked the hashtag, where is Sangita Myska? Now, there was zero explanation for this. She's just gone. Sangita was one of the few, I would say, decent journalists. I mean, actually, probably the only decent journalist at LBC. But of course, you can't criticise Israel without consequences. Now, I don't know if there is a link between LBC and Israel. I don't know if there's some financial link or a conspiracy like that. I think it's more to do with either access, maybe, I don't know, they're worried they wouldn't get exclusive interviews with Israeli spokespeople and are worried to, I don't know, press too hard on them, or the editorial at LBC are so unashamedly pro-Israel, so biased, that simple questions from Sangita gets you silence, which to me is probably the most likely. Now, LBC didn't confirm anything. They literally just went silent and have replaced her with Vanessa fucking Feltz. So we've gone from a pretty good journalist to a TV star, if you want to call it that. It's clear that LBC cares far more about sensationalism than real journalism, but they never addressed what happened to Sangita. They've carried on as if nothing happens. So, okay, maybe it has nothing to do with Israel. It could be completely innocent, but the following things I'm going to show you makes that incredibly unlikely. Before Vanessa Feltz was announced, Kwadjo, who is a social campaigner, tweeted this. Update on Sangita Myska and LBC. I've received a message from some who I'll keep anonymous. They say after Sangita disappeared from the LBC schedule, producers were told no one will notice she's gone. But if people are uttering in to say she's fine. If this is true, it's vile. It'll now be down to LBC to confirm or clarify. To make matters worse, one of my followers say they phoned in yesterday and this is the response they got. What the fuck? I'm in shock. So I just called them and asked and they blocked my number. Then I called back and the woman was so fucking rude to me. She told me, why do you keep calling? What don't you understand? I do not care. When I said I'm your long-standing listener and we deserve to know, she told me so. Go and get busy with something else. Now, if that's not already incredibly dodgy, I have a clip from Callum, also known as Political. You may have seen him on this channel. He has done some Vox Pops and covered some protests for Turn Left. He called into LBC and in his TikTok clip, he explained how they manipulated the audio to cut out certain parts of what he said in real time. But fortunately, he also recorded it himself.
So today, on Ali Miraj's show, that should have been Sangita Myska's show, during a section about the ongoing pro-Palestine protests in America and on university campuses, I called in to give my opinion on that exact topic. During this conversation, I brought up the fact that I believe people are being silenced who are talking openly about the war crimes being committed by Israel, and pointed out that even one of his own colleagues has been removed from the airwaves for doing just that. This is what I said.
But people are being silenced when they highlight what Israel did. You've had one of your own presenters taken off air after calling Israel, holding them to account for what they've done.
However, this is what was broadcast on LBC.
Behaviour, which has led to this
people
action.
are being silent, holding them to account for what
I don't think anyone is being silenced. I've condemned actions by the Netanyahu government.
The irony of Ali Mirage telling me nobody's being silenced when they have literally just dumped the audio to silence me.
So I think that clip from Callum pretty much proves Sangita was completely silenced over Israel. Of course, there will be people who will downplay this. LBC have done themselves. I mean, they actually haven't downplayed it. They've just straight up ignored it. This is so serious. Journalism is one of the most integral parts of a democracy, and it seems that a huge platform like LBC can't even tolerate the most basic questioning. This is why independent media is so important. We can't trust the mainstream commentariat. Legacy media is over. It is so over. Now, this is a clip of Nick Ferrari with Vanessa Feltz talking about her new role at the station, and it just sums everything up so perfectly.
At last, I can announce Vanessa Feltz is coming to LBC.
Hooray!
Oh, Vanessa, my goodness me. I loved the comment that you've given. You liken it to a romance.
Isn't it? LBC have been wooing me with flowers, with fruit, with muffins. They've beseeched me. They've been on bended knee. And all these years I've resisted their blandishments. And today I've succumbed. They've got me. They've had me, finally.
Okay, well, as you smoke the cigarette and enjoy it, what is it that finally... What made you finally succumb?
You and I in the afterglow together, Nick Ferrari. This is what I've been dreaming of all my life. What made me succumb? Well, partly you. Obviously, I've been a secret listener all these years.
Now, the reason why I wanted to show you that clip is how the media is just a circus act. It's not there to inform, it's there to entertain. The personality that comes out from Vanessa, the loudness, the laughing, the joking, it's all a show. Now, Sangita, who's hardly a radical, I mean, she's pretty much a centrist, is silenced for doing the bare minimum of what a journalist should be doing, and this is her replacement. It's not about integrity and the search for truth. It's about big, bombastic debates which are mostly style over substance. It's more personality than facts, and Feltz is that perfect candidate for the ever-shifting move from real journalism to sensationalism. Piers Morgan is a great example. Look at the trailers and posters he puts up on his social media of an upcoming debate. You know, visually they look like boxing promos. This person versus this person tonight. It doesn't feel like news. It feels like an event. Like I said, a boxing promo or a sporting event. You know, it's all about going viral, getting numbers, everything but true, vigorous journalism. So I guess I wanted to point out that specifically with Sangita, this is about silencing those who are willing to criticize Israel. But I also wanted to just make a point about how the corporate media chooses to entertain instead of informing with the likes of sensationalist and big characters. And this is why our media is utterly, utterly broken. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and drop a comment. It's good for the algorithm and I'm interested in what you have to say. If you're not already subscribed, please do and hit the notification bell. You can also support this channel by becoming a member for 99p per month. And if you're feeling a little more generous, then you can support us on Patreon for £3 or £5 per month. This channel for a while has been uploading every single day, and it's quite a lot of work that is still voluntary and scheduled around my paid work. But I have so much ambition, expect in the future to see more variety in content, such as interviews and Vox Pops. But I want this to be a fully fledged media organisation where not only is this my full-time job, but to have multiple people working for Turn Left. I like to see a live show in the future, more content that delves into culture, history, and much more. But that can only be done if there's money. So please, if you can, support us in any way that's in your capacity. And thank you to existing members, subscribers, and patrons. See you next time.